let me say this. This is one of the finest teams that we have ever had as a church. The finest. Hallelujah. I mean, it does not need any private interpretation. Divine is divine. Shifting is shifting. Tell your brother, shift from where you are to where God had planned for you. No, this is not carnal or human shift, but divine shift. Divine shift. Deuteronomy chapter 2, verses 1 to 3. Quickly, Deuteronomy chapter 2, 1 to 3. After that, we'll read Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. And the Bible says, then we turned and took our journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. And the Lord spake unto me, and we compassed Mount Sinai many days. Verse 2. And the Lord spake unto me, saying, ye have compassed this mountain long enough. Do what? Turn ye northward. Every time you hear about the word north in the Bible, it's referring to divinity, referring to heaven, and referring to God. Because the dwelling place of God is up north. The rising place of God is eastward. Are you hearing me? He said, you have compassed this mountain long enough. Do what? Turn ye northward. The people of Israel left Egypt, and when they came to Mount Sinai, they got confused. They were just walking around. But God said, the time for divine shift is now. Where you have been, tell yourself, you have overstayed in that place. You must move. Can I hear you? Amen. A man called Dogoyar Yandorua in Zamfara bought a house. An Igbo man who lived in that house for over 30 years. When the man was to pull down the house or whatever, he gave quick notice to every person. And the man walked up to him and said, Oga, I'm one of the oldest tenants in this place. He said, I've lived in this house for 30 years. The man got angry. He said, that is the more reason why you should leave. For you to live in a house, somebody's house for 30 years, without thinking of building your own, something is wrong with you. Building number one to pack out of the house. And I supported the man. And let me tell you that our vision of having every member in the church live in his own house is becoming a reality. Amen. Can I hear you? Amen. Where you have stayed for too long, God is telling you to leave and to turn northward. Can I hear you? Amen. Anywhere you have stayed for too long and there's no change, the time for you to move is now. Malachi chapter 3 verse 6. Malachi 3 verse 6 quickly. Malachi 3 verse 6. For I am the Lord, and I do what? Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. God does not change, but God changes situation. As God was in the beginning, so he was yesterday. As in the book of Hebrew 13 verse 8 says, Jesus Christ the same yesterday, today, and forever. Government may change, things may change, human beings may change, but our God cannot change. Our God cannot change. What he did yesterday, he can still do today. What he did years ago, he can still do today. He is the Lord. He does not change, but he changes situation. That your situation that looks as if it's permanent, God in this meeting will change it for you. I said, God in this meeting will change it for you. Is there any place where you are crying and asking whether God has remembered me? I don't know how many of you were in Hour of Power today. 3 pastors came from Wagonary to see me on a program that was coming up. They walked in, we were supposed to see yesterday, but I went into town to see Dr. Koye and some other person. So they shifted the meeting today. But they later agreed that the meeting was actually divinely shifted for them to be here. And when they came and I was talking, and usually one of those funny ways of talking, I told them the story. Some people bear name, and names affect them. And I told them, a man in my place, the man drank palm wine. After drinking, he said some people used to give name. He said, you can imagine somebody giving name. He said, and one of the pastors said, hey, he said his name is Ozemene. He said, God, please change his name. And when I came here, God told me that he had changed his name because he desired it. From who? Ozemene to what? And the man was so happy and excited, he took phone and called his wife and said, my name is Yememe from today, no longer Ozemene. And those of you around saw that the man got drunk in the power of God. And why I like them, that they may be old ministers. Some of you do not know, the other minister that was standing, when we got into the office, they told me that he was the one who was supposed to be the bishop of the Anglican Communion, but because he's not from the north, so they have to get Aduda's father. And he was the chaplain for him for 9 years. Two told him on what to do from Ekwa. And the man left before they brought another one. He's going to, they are elderly people, they are not, but he can see their humility. They came out for prayer, and that man was drunk in the power, and they went home excited. That is how God ordered the step of people. I want to tell you that God will order your step into your place of blessing. I say, God will order your step into your place of blessing. No one under the influence of my voice shall be stranded this year. I say, no one under the influence of my voice shall be stranded this year. In this month of remembrance, God shall remember you. I say, God shall remember you. I say, God shall remember you in the name of Jesus Christ. He's talking about divine shift. What is divine shift? Divine shift means qualitative and quantitative change. That God will change you qualitatively and quantitatively. Quality, advancing you from where you are to where you least expected to be, and yet with your heart full of joy. Now anything God does, there's always an evidence. It goes with glory, and I see God doing it for us. I see God doing it for us. Mommy Etim called. He said, Daddy, God bless you. Daddy, God bless you. I was saying, what is that? He said, Daddy, you will live long. God bless you. He said, your daughter has been promoted. I said, God, I thank you. You know, some other person also called me, who is not a member of this commission. He said, they've disengaged me from my office. Do you know what I say? They've done what? Disengaged me from my office. When somebody is celebrating for promotion, another person is being what? That's why we need to give thanks to God. When you see us come before the Lord and kneel down, to appreciate Him, we know where we're coming from. We know what God means to us. But in this year, in this men's convention, you will see the finger of God. I said, you will see the finger of God. The Lord shall arise on your behalf, and He shall turn things around for you. A divine shift is a supernatural move from one place to another. A change in position, a change in direction. It is the supernatural act of putting one thing in the place of another, like the case of Aman and Mordecai. Supernatural move from one place to the other. I see God moving you. I see God moving you. I see God moving you. I want you to notice where you are. There are some of you who are living in your house today. That house is your own, but that's not your permanent house. Because better houses are coming. I said better houses are coming. There are some of you who have a job. Better jobs are coming your way. I said better jobs are coming your way. I said better jobs are coming your way. In the name of Jesus Christ. When God comes down, men know that He's around. God cannot come down and they begin to ask, where is He? My people say, when rain falls, they don't tell the story to ground. It's not possible. When God begins to shift us divinely, people will see it. People will know that He's our God. He's our God. And He will never allow us to suffer pain or shame. Because He's interested in us. He will move us forward. You know, I did with one thing during the hour of power. I said one thing that torments people is fear. Is what? Yeah. When a girl is 25, she's afraid. Where am I going to get a husband? When a girl is 30, she feels I'm getting to the chef. But that is not the plan of God. What happened is that the man that is supposed to marry you, God is working on him, removing anger, filling money into his bank account, because God knows that you like ice cream. God knows that you like Bonvita. God knows that you like chocolate. God knows that you like to travel around. God said, let me package the man first before you go in and begin to eat. Because your name is Oriako. God is prepared preparing the man that have the word. And one thing is true, the man will show up like an envelope. So that you are 30 does not mean that you have expired. It's a question, it's a process. You are in a process. And this men's program is meant to shift you into that level. Can I hear you? Amen. I lived in Jos, and I know one common thing, that Irish potato, when you go to the village to buy Irish potato, either in a basket or in a sack, most of the sack, they will stand them up. Are you following? As you are growing, because most farm roads are very rough road. As you're driving, coming down to town, before you leave the bad road to the in road, all the small Irish potato, we do what? We move down. The bigger one, we set up. Sometimes people think they select them. It is not select. It is rough road. It is the shifting of life that move the smaller one down. There are some things that God will shake off your life in this weekend. I said, God will shake off something in your life in this weekend. Either things you inherited, things that men projected against you in this weekend, God will remove it from you. I said, God will remove it from you. In the name of Jesus Christ. Do you know God? Do you know God? Pharaoh said, who is the Lord that I will not let you go? That is why the Igbo people say, oh, Chineke bo tiri Pharaoh mo. What is that girl that knows this? She's not in church. God said, Pharaoh, sit down. I'll make you masquerade. He said, you don't know me? He said, yes. He said, the day I will come, you will know. And the day he came, did anybody introduce God to Pharaoh? He told the children of Israel, all of you begin to go. He said, since you are not allowing my sons to go, I will take your sons. And he began. Every firstborn, including human being and animal, in Egypt, God dealt with them. He said, tonight I will pass through the land of Egypt, and I am going to judge the God of Egypt. Today, tonight, the God of your family that have fought you years, God will pass through your family tonight and judge those gods, and judge those demons, and judge those memories in the name of Jesus. Please, I want you to kill yourself, because when we're talking about shift, do you know during military takeover, when the military takes over, did they leave anybody behind? They sweep up every government, arrest them. They arrest everybody. So when God is shifting, He knows what He's doing. He knows He has a plan. He didn't just give this team for us to joke with it. If you see how excited I am to hear the team, divine shift, I began to pray. I said, God, and you know something? During the 3 days fasting, God actually showed me that the hour of divine shift had come. Because certainly I never bothered about audible voice, hearing from God. I like hearing the word of God. I like being led by the Spirit. But this period, God spoke audibly, mentioned things, and it registered in my spirit, and I confirmed them. And I know that you finish it today. If they give me 2 meat at home, I eat one and return one. Some people say, hey, ofo eno ofo zoko. Be careful, carry ozoko no zumado. One man, one complete chicken. You know, it's part of Igbo tradition. For end of your party. Okay, in Abia. End of your party. One man, one full chicken. Some people will finish their own. They won't go home with it. People are eating trouble. No, town meeting, is it not true? No, what I'm saying, is it not true? But Uche, is it not true? Have you not collected, Ekezi, where are you? Have you not collected one complete chicken before? It's a common thing. Even me in 1980 what? I collected one complete chicken. Chairman too. And some people will sit down, only them, eat it, finish it, chew the bone. One man in my village committed a crime. He went and bought one complete part of dog meat. He told the children to bring water for him, wash hand. He ate the thing, ate the bone. He didn't give the wife, he didn't give the children. After drinking water, he begged. So the beg pained the wife so much. So she reported the case to the woman. When they finished, they find the man another leg for the family. How can you buy one leg of dog meat and only you? Finish. And they nicknamed the man Atatobu. The man who eat and eat the bone. We have people with characters. You are looking for what is happening to some people. Do you know in divine shift, they will be shifting someone. He will be running to come back from where they shifted him. And Haman prepared. He wanted worship. And the Jews don't worship men. Every time people in hypocrisy, we bow. I say, yes, yes, yes. Mordecai said, I only bow down to the God of heaven. And the man became angry. He wrote a letter, paid millions of dollars into the account, the treasury of the government, to pay soldiers who will carry out the work, to buy more weapons. And for you, Mordecai, you're going to be hanged. But he didn't know that God was not in support of his action. That is why Isaiah chapter 7 verse 7 said, it doesn't matter who hates you. Stop looking for who love you. Stop looking for who like you and who doesn't like you. One good news I have for you is that God loves you. And the love of God is enough for you. You know, I hate to say, those of us who are old school, there are songs that we to sing that satisfies our soul. It's enough for me. It's enough for me. The man of Calvary is enough. Do we still sing that song again? No, we've forgotten them. Because, do you know why we forgot them? It's not enough for the people. Because we have pastors who are doing Jesus Plus. I didn't know before until one man told me. I said, God, what is Jesus Plus? He said, na Jesus, they preach. Those who go to the one in Onisha, on one Bayelsa to get power, these are the people they call Jesus Plus. They do watch native doctor and they still preach in the name of Jesus. But there's something in their pocket that's not completely God. May God deliver members from Jesus Plus. Stop looking for who loves you and who does not love you. Who is caring for you? Jesus cares for you. And nobody says a thing, not even an uncle, and nothing comes to pass if God is not in support. They declared 3 days fasting, and that fasting, in the spirit realm, there was a divine shift, and Haman didn't know. He didn't know that he was a dead man. Let me tell you, there are people today in your family that are bragging and they are threatening you. They are already dead. You are the one that is still alive. They are making noise, but you are the one taking over. I say you are the one taking over. Ben, I say you are the one taking over. I say you are the one taking over. They may be bragging around though, but they are nothing. They already expired. Do you know that every charm have expiration date? And stand here to announce, every charm holding anybody who is a child of God, let that charm expire now. Let that altar expire now. Let that pronouncement expire now. Because the Bible says, whosoever the Son of Man shall set free, shall be free indeed. And that divine shift, God moved on behalf of Mordecai. And the news got to Haman, got to Esther. And Esther organized party. The king said for who? He said for you and Haman. And Haman said he was in power. And he was drinking wine. But he didn't know that wine was his last wine in life. Let me tell you that some of your enemies are drinking their last wine. At that time he was drinking the wine. Who was a gate man? Who was a gate man? It never crossed anybody's mind that somebody can be from the gate place to the palace. In the eyes of men, it is humanly impossible, but it is God full possible. Because God said, with God, how many things are possible? From gate man to becoming the prime minister, it is possible. I say it is possible. I say it is possible. I say it is possible. You know, one man is in the University of Abuja here. Some people in the local community say, no, people from our place have to be the one who is the rector of the Federal Polytechnic. And the man was the deputy rector. So the tenure of the rector expired. So since they refused to give him, they asked him to be acting. And the man acted 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and almost to the 4th year before they brought the rector. Who was signing the check? Who was giving the contract? See, you bother yourself. You bother yourself so much. Whether you are acting or you are doing it, what are you? What are you? You are the real person. But every person in this church who is on an acting capacity, by the reason of divine shift, I confirm you. I say, I confirm you. I say, I confirm you. In the name of Jesus. And the man was angry with Mordecai. But church, let's see what happened here. Esther chapter 7, verse 9 to 10. Esther chapter 7, 9 to 10. Quickly. Esther chapter 7, 9 to 10. And Habolah, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standing in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him there. Everybody say, hang him there. Hang him there. Do you know the problem of Haman? He had not read the Bible. I say, he had not done what? You know, in the morning I told us that when Mary angel came to him and said, you're going to be the mother of Jesus. You're going to become pregnant with him. And Mary said, how can this thing happen, seeing that I know no man? I said, do you know why Mary said that? Because she had not read the Bible. She didn't have the Bible like us. If she had read the book of Isaiah, she would have known that the Bible said that a virgin shall conceive and bear a child, and his name shall be called Emmanuel. But between her and Jesus was a different case. The Bible says that when Jesus came, he in Luke chapter 4, verse 17, 18, 19, that in Isaiah, he took Isaiah 61 in the synagogue. He read it. He said, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, for he has anointed me to do what? To preach the gospel. And the Bible said, when he finished, because he didn't have his own, he borrowed it to discover his destiny. After reading it, he gave it to the owner. But what he was looking for, he saw it. It doesn't matter whether you borrow Bible or it's your own, as long as you understand what is inside. That is what we're talking about. And this man had not read the Bible, that whosoever diggeth a pit shall fall into it. When he was making the gallows, did you know that he was preparing it for himself? He would have made it 10 cubits or 20. But how many cubits did he make it? 50. Who eventually hung on it? Who commanded him to be hung there? The king. Verse 10. So they hung Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Everybody who had wished you evil, by the principle of God's word, may that return to the person. So then was the king's wrath pacified. Then was the king's wrath pacified. Go to chapter 8, verse 2, then verse 15 to 17. It's in Esther, chapter 8, verse 2. Verse 2. Esther 8, 2. Chapter 8, verse 2. And the king took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman. What is that, church? Divine shift. There was shifting of ring of authority. There was shifting of what? They removed it before they hang Haman. They removed the seal of authority from him. And let me tell you the secret of this. Nobody who is holding your good will die without handing it over to you. There are some people who will be alive for your sake, but not because they are qualified to live, but they will be alive so that they can show you where your inheritance is. Amen. Did you hear me? Yes, God will not kill them, not because they are righteous, but until they deliver to you all that belongs to you. So before they hang Haman, they removed that seal of authority and they kept it somewhere. As soon as Mordecai came, look at what they say. And the king took off his ring, which he had taken from who? And did what? and gave it unto Mordecai. And Esther set Mordecai over the house of Haman. What is it, church? From the gate of Asorok to the house of the official palace of the vice president, to the official residence of the prime minister. Church, if you don't understand, that is what is called divine shift. That's what is called divine shift. From where man sees you as nobody to where the whole nation recognizes you as somebody. I declare God's recognition upon your head. I put on you the oil of recognition. Now wherever you go, you shall be recognized. It shall no longer be nobody in the eyes of men. When Jesus appeared, God announced and said, "This is my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear him." Even the deaf heard him because God said, "Hear him." Do you hear me? When God said, "Hear," even the man that is deaf must do what? Must hear. If he like, let him become deaf again, but he must hear that one they said before the deafness will return. You hear me say? That's what God will do for you. God will announce you, and people will hear you. I said, God will announce you, and people will hear you. God will announce you, and people will hear you. Please, media, move to verse 15 to 17. Verse 15, please sit down. Sit on the head of your enemy. Yes. Verse 15. That laptop is delaying, not like when it came new. It's carrying load. And Mordecai went out from the presence of the king. In what? How did he come before? Remember that he put on sackcloth before. But now, appearing before king, before he left, there was a change. He left the presence of the king in a royal apparel of blue and white. And with what? A great crown of gold. And with a garment of fine linen and purple, and the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad. For your sake, men shall rejoice. You didn't hear me. For your sake, men shall rejoice. Nobody shall mourn you. Let me hear the loudest amen. Nobody shall cry for your sake, Brother Ben. Nobody shall cry for your sake. Nobody will mourn over you, but rather men shall come celebrating. People will come to tell you congratulations. I prophesy over your head, something good will happen in your life that will make men to come and congratulate you. In the name of Jesus Christ. In the name of Jesus Christ. In the name of the name that is above every name. In that name, men shall congratulate you. Because God shall change your story. I said, God shall change your story. I said, God shall change your story. The prodigal son was lost, but in the realm of divine shift, God moved him back to glory. Are there things that you have lost in the past? Are there things that you're supposed to have that has eluded you, that escaped your hand? By the message of God, they are coming back to you. All right. Verse 16. Quickly. The Jews had light and gladness and joy and honor. 17. And in every promise and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had what? Joy and gladness. A feast and a good day. Your good day is now. And many of the people of the land, what did they become? Some versions say they pretended to be Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them. They pretended to be Jews. Arabs became Jews. Iraqis became Jews. When they asked them, what tribe are you? He said, we're Jews. Why? Remember, the first letter was for Jews to be killed, massacred wherever they are. But another letter followed, signed by Mordecai. And they gave them power. Say, anywhere you appear, anybody who tries to touch you, stand up and defend yourself. And the Jews prepared to defend themselves. And the people became afraid. I say they became afraid. Every person tormenting you, you will soon begin to torment the person. And you know how are you going to torment the person? It's not fun down and die. David said, God prepared a table before me in the presence of what? Do you know how painful it is to use toothpick in the presence of your enemy? I know some of us don't know how to eat meat. After eating, you're doing like this. They said, what did he eat? He said, meat. Who gave him meat? He said, okay, for one nefer. The man will do like this. Do like this. And you now carry water. And you now belch. 3 things that can make your enemy angry. Belching, toothpick, and losing of belt. To say that you have overfed yourself. And David said, don't kill them. Just prepare a table for me before what? And the table that God prepared. See, do you know where they learn buffet? You know buffet? You know what they call buffet dinner? Where they cook different types of food. You go and make choice. It's from the Bible they learn it. God prepares a table. Salad, wine, all manner of food. You go and take one here, and some people will even take 5. Put one here, put in their mouth. Hello, how are you? And they continue. And some, even to spoil the matter, their boy follows them. They say, okay, put this. No, leave it. Just 2 is enough. 2, just like this. In case if you don't know English, like this, 2 is enough. Okay, that's nice. He says, let me just, you see, fried, let me just have 1. Oh, that is seafood. Oh, a little, just a little. I'm okay. And the man will just carry it. He'll be eating it before he'll get to his table. Hello, how are you? Say a long time. His table is waiting for him. By the time you finish, you just touch it and touch it and touch it and eat. So thank you very much. He said, we are good to go now. Good to go? Why? God prepares a table for you in the presence of in the presence of your enemies. They will see you. You will drive in a good car. You won't speed past them. You will slow down. Hello, Mama Nkechi. Where to? He said, I'm going to Tibagari. He said, please enter. You will increase your air condition. Cold will catch him. Who has sworn that you never drive a car? And once the AC begin to work, her charm will not work again. One man from Abia went for one meeting. As soon as he entered, the central air condition blew like this on him. He went back. So he went back home to prepare himself again. But it was ordinary air condition. No charm inside. It's not from Mami Ward place, so it's from Pastor Carlos' place. Hallelujah. Divine shift implies a supernatural sudden change. Somebody say, God, let it be my portion. A supernatural sudden change. A supernatural, irresistible, and remarkable change. A supernatural, dramatic change in the life of a man. Empowered lifting. When God suddenly lifts you from where you are, above your equals, they'll be looking up like this. They'll be looking up like this. They'll be looking up like this. You see the one? Say, yes, he's the one. A productive blessing. A sudden turnaround. Divine shift means divine acceleration. It means God's power of bringing his plans to pass at a faster rate than is humanly possible. That is God. The speed of God is faster than that of a man. God had plans for each of us. From henceforth, his plan will not be delayed again. No man can delay the plan of God for your life. All of you who are due for foreign scholarship, get it. All of you who are due for marriage, get married. All of you who are due for employment, get it. And let me make this announcement. All of you who are looking for a job, between now and Sunday, between now and Saturday, let me have your CV. Get your CV, give it to me. I'll pray over it and I'll give it to a human being. And I assure you, God will give you a job. We're talking about divine shift. Things must happen. I said something must happen. Can I hear somebody say amen? Can I hear another amen? A sudden turnaround. Divine acceleration. Divine shift can mean divine interruption. God interrupting certain activity. Do you know that God can interrupt this government to favor somebody? Yes. Divine intervention. Putting to an end the troubles of your life. Do you know there are people who have never known joy in their life? A man and a woman ever said that, and you say, I don't know why my own problem is too much. He said, even if I drink water, it will hook on my teeth. And I have to use toothpick. Do you know the implication? How many of you have heard such language before? You've not heard it before. If you have heard it, let me see your hand. Some people say, yeah, they drink water, they have to use toothpick. Is water meant to hook on somebody's teeth? But that is the gravity of people's problem. But there's good news for such one. Isaiah chapter 40 from verse 1 to 5. Let's read it and we'll begin to pray. Isaiah chapter 40. Because God is going to end the troubles of your life. But you need to cooperate with God. You need to do what? You need to do what? You need to do what? Melody and Ngozi run to the front. Let me give you an example. The first to come, the first to get the blessing. Nobody should push me. I just say come. All right. See, I want to bless the two of them. One person should act to be dragging back, and one person should be going forward. All of you will still get your blessing. This is drama. When they gave Piakas 30 million, did you see Billion Van following him? So it's drama. Only I pitied his trouser. I will go and repair it when he get home. All right. Who is acting to drag back? You act. All right. I want to take them to the place of destiny. Who is at fault, God or the person? You must cooperate with God. My dear, come for acceleration. All of you are blessed. That's the problem with mankind. When you think your own way, God said this is the way. God said this is the way. He said, no, I can't follow that way. God said this is the rule. These are principles guiding the scripture. Scriptural principles guiding life. Follow it. He said, no, it's my own way. God said, by strength shall no man prevail. He said, God, if I don't try hard, I won't go to anywhere. God said, okay, you go ahead. When you finish, you will come and rest. God said, follow me. He said, no, I won't follow you, God. I know it more than you. You know more than God. And you are where you are. You have done it for 5 years. You have done it for 10 years. And yet, you are still in one place. Why not think back and say, God, let me come back to you and follow you. Let me come back and follow you. As I close, verse 1 say, comfort here, my people, said the Lord. And anything God said, nobody can question it. The time of comfort has come for somebody. Let me tell you, tonight, there's somebody here who will lack particular wisdom in handling money. That wisdom is given to you now. From today, you will know how to manage money. You will know how to manage money. Your money will grow. That pocket that is leaking, by the power of heaven, I seal that pocket. He said, speak here comfortably to Jerusalem and cry unto her that her warfare is what? Her warfare is what? That her iniquity is what? For she had received of the Lord's hand double for all her sins. That's for somebody. Verse 3. The voice of him that cried in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord. Make straight in the desert a highway. For who? For our God. For every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crook shall be made straight, and the rough places plain. Are you finding things rough? God is making it plain. I said, God is making it plain. I said, God is making it plain. Verse 5, but then we'll begin to pray. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. For the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. Everybody be upstanding. Say, this is my time of divine shift. Say, oh God of heaven, arise on my behalf and shift me to a place of destiny. To my place of destiny. Go ahead and begin to pray. Talk to God. Be excited. Don't look at anybody. This is the moment. This is the hour. This is the moment. This is the hour. If God did it for Mordecai as a commission, there's a level that God had launched us into. Those of you who are not saying amen, you are the problem of your life. I said, there's a level that God is taking us to. I said, there's a level that God has brought us into. There's a level that God has brought us into. By the time God is through with you, nobody will be able to interpret you. You will become inexplicable. Nobody will be able to explain you. But then when God is through with you, nobody will be able to explain you. The drama of Piakasa will be a child's play. You didn't know why they were doing it. People were laughing. I already know that wealth for this church is a small thing. 30 billion is nothing. Did you hear me? 30 billion is what? It's nothing. 30 billion is nothing. Because we are going to be talking in dollars. We're going to be talking in pound sterling. We're going to be talking in euros. We're going to be talking in great things. That's why I want people, you know. I had a story. I said, I wish people would learn their sense. There's some group of rich men gathered in a church, and I had a meeting against their pastor. And they said, let us leave these couple members and move out of this church. And all of them left the church. The pastor cried with the couple members. You know, they said, Daddy, don't worry. They don't have anything in their pocket. And the man cried, God, if you are the one who called me, these couple members, raise them to become millionaires. And God in his mercy answered. And one of them today, is it the deputy clerk of National Assembly? The acting clerk of National Assembly and House of Rep. Couple members. One that didn't go to school, God mistakenly moved him to Italy. Remember the word in quotes. He didn't go to school, so he doesn't even know English. He went and studied how to speak Italian language, and he started the church there. From there, the church moved from there to Germany, to 3 other countries. Couple members, all of them became millionaires. Then all those millionaires who left couple members, they dropped. And they came back to beg, but they came back as poor people. They say we will bring back all the people we took. Oh my God. The Bible says, when God turned around the captivity of Zion, that we shall be like them that dream. That's why we shall be like them that dream. I see God turning somebody's situation around. I see God turning somebody's situation around. You know, I like prophetic song. He said, I can see everything. Everything. Listen to me. Do you know that even the things who say they don't have faith, they don't believe in God, but they tell you they are optimistic. They are when the man talks about optimism, what is he talking about? He's talking about natural faith. He's talking that he believes that something good will come his way. I believe that God is raising all of you. I believe that God is holding you by the hand. He will take you to a place of destiny. To a place of destiny. To a place of destiny. I announce to you by the word of God that we shall celebrate all of you. I said we shall celebrate all of you. There, that young boy behind, we are here. We are not mourning here. We are celebrating. We are celebrating. We are celebrating. If he's sick, let him come out for prayer of healing. If not, let him join. Let his mind be here. We are celebrating. We are not mourning. Are you following? I say we are not mourning. We are celebrating. The time of your celebration has come. I say the time of your celebration has come. The time of your celebration has come. Sit down. And we're talking about divine shift. Anything that has to do with divinity, you're talking about God. You're talking about the Creator. You're talking about the owner of the heavens and the earth. I told you that the Hausa community, the Hausa Christian community, they met together. They said this name called Allah is not the true name of God among Christians in northern Nigeria. So the Hausa indigenous community in Kano, they came together. They said, what name should our God be called? They said the name of our God should be called Meduka, the owner of everything. So the new name for God in Hausa is who? Meduka. And that God is our God. When you read it in the Hebrew Bible, Psalm 24 verse 1. So Jehovah we wanine nujue ninem. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. Maybe they say one governor know they hear. He said he's making pastors to take license in Kaduna. How many of you have heard about the judgment? The judgment is against El-Rufai. That he has no right to license PFN pastors in Kaduna State because the PFN is a registered trustee body that already have license. That what the law is making is contrary to the constitution of Nigeria. That is number one divine shift. Very soon we're going to be burying him. I sent text to the PFN chairman. I say, all of you should give quick notice to El-Rufai. It's not in Nigeria. Give him quick notice to leave. In my madness, spiritual madness, I told the governor, because you spoke against Christians, God will tear your mouth. People thought it was a joke. When he was traveling to his town, his jeep somersaulted. Where he had accident was the mouth, because God honored the word of his servant. And I want to announce to you, any person behind your suffering, as God is shifting you, God will crush them. God will crush them. Anybody that ever made you to shed tears, while you are waking up to smile, weeping shall return to their home. You are not smart enough. When people are standing up, you are sitting down, something is wrong with you. That is why you are the one you see a buncha in the drama. May God deliver you. I say, may God deliver you. You see, let that name not click to you. You see, if you don't come buncha, let your head begin to receive soap. So that you know your friend will not be giving you. You should be smart enough to receive the blessing. Have you read in the Bible? The Bible says, if they come unto Jesus and fall unto him, they will be broken to pieces. But if he's the one who decides to move and roll on them, what will happen? They'll be grounded to powder. You know, in my joke, I said that all this powder women are using for makeup is the body of enemies of Christians. They were grounded. Women are using it for makeup. Because that's what the Bible says. He said he will ground them to what? And when you go to market and buy powder, what did you buy? The body of the enemies of God. The body of the enemies of God. That's what God said. He will grant them to what? You have permission to use your enemies to make up. A man woke up one day, please sit down, and all he could think to harm the Jewish people. God said, you are peculiar to me. You are the apple of my eyes. Do you know what I look in the Bible? I look at what had God said about me. If God has said something about me, nobody can change it. He said, who is he that says a thing and it comes to pass when the Lord God has not spoken? If God has said none shall be barren, your name is not none. None are women, Reverend sisters, who are old, who will not have children. I'm trying to marry two words together. Are you following? They've decided they are not going to marry. So they are none. They say none shall be barren. So they don't have children. But the original English say none shall be. How many of you understand the language I'm trying to use? N-U-N and N-O-N-E. None shall be barren. But some sisters say they won't marry, they won't have children, and they already own. They are none. In the convert, they are the one who should be barren. But for you, none shall be barren. None shall be. None shall be. God said, I take pleasure in your prosperity. And one man say, I don't want it to prosper. That man is committing suicide. God said, you will move forward. And the man said, do you know where I am? Every man that is boasting is like pap. Every man that is boasting without God is like what? Go and make pap. Let it fill the plate. Don't drink it. Keep it for 3 days. Watch it. How will it look? How will it be? After 1 week, how will it look like? It will turn to powder. Do you know that? That's how every unbeliever is an empty vessel. Every unbeliever, quote me, no matter how great they are like what? Empty vessel. So one man called Haman, he didn't know what to do. What he wanted to do was to harm the people of God, called the Jews. But these Jews turned him to juice and drank him. Did you hear what I say? Jews. Turn him to Juice. Jews turn Haman to what? To Jews. They juiced him. They drank him. He became non-existent. They will look for him. They will not see him. They actually looked for him. They didn't see him. He was so powerful in that land. He prepared gallows to hang Mordecai. But because he is not an Igbo man. If he's an Igbo man, he would have known better. No, any man that God has not killed, nobody can kill him. David said in Psalm 118, he said, even though God had afflicted me, but he had not handed me over to death. That is why tipper will hit a man, the man will still survive. But the one that is already dead, bicycle will touch him, and the man will die. And he prepared a gallows, and everybody pitied Mordecai, but not God. Say, but not God. And Queen Esther, that's why we need to train our children before they get into high position. Don't train children who will become wife of governors and they will no longer fast. They will be drinking juice by the side. Tea in the morning, juice in the afternoon, salad in the afternoon, meat in the night. And they will go off shape. They will no longer pray to God. They say, I don't have time. I love the drama of Piakasa. The only thing that if I'm to arrange that drama again is to reduce the number of phones that the man was carrying. Because one phone can do all of them. Are you following? His secretary can receive some of the call. Not to tell you how to be. I know how to be a rich man. I know how to be what? You know how to do, you have to learn how to be a rich man, or you kill yourself. If you suddenly become rich without training, you will die because of food. Do you hear me? So you better learn how to be a rich man. How do Anamra people put it? Anna, is it? You learn how to be a rich man. You don't suddenly enter into it because the thing will kill you. Everything you see you want to eat. That is why today doctors are telling people, okay, you're already 40 years, stop eating red meat. Meanwhile, the man, do you know, when you were in school, how many deep freezers did the ICOMO have? They saw one man with 25 deep freezers of assorted meat, cow, pig, turkey, everything. You know, in the past, there are things you think is hard for big men. I know in those days when you go to eat in a restaurant, they give you one small food and plenty meat as a sign of wealth. Some restaurant, they feel it's for rich men. But today, Brother Ben, if you go to where they give you half plate of meat, what will you do? You finish it?